Hello, hello. This is Rams with two S's for legal reasons, and now for another reason. The second S in MF Rants now stands for stuffs, because I'll be now doing more stuffs than just Multiverse Bash. Because I don't want my entire fan base getting super bored of Multiverse Bash. Because if that's all I'm doing, then no one will watch it, you know? So that's why I've decided to start doing other things like talking about more drama around the interests I have, such as wrestling and Marvel comics. By the way, did anyone see the new Doomsday poster, the new teaser they released? It looks really bad. I'm just gonna say it. Like they had Steve Rogers look like a regular dude. They had like there's no Spider-Man in the poster, which is weird because he's like their top moneymaker. There's no show characters, no like Moon Knight, no Daredevil, none of that. So it's a little annoying that they're making them that separated when in usual Marvel comics we see Daredevil going after Thanos. Like, what are we doing? Anyway, there's also a few updates to the roster of Multiverse Bash, so I'll get to that. First major ring a ding ding update. I have removed Batman Beyond and Kane Parker and put them in the new DLC tabs page I created. They're a little hard to see because the background of the DLC is black and they have primarily black costumes. So, this beginning of our DLC roster, this whole thing is going to be just the roster. Maybe later on another person will start filling out this roster as well. But right now it's just me because I'm the person who takes the time to work on multiplayer. And I have other friends who have the same interests as me. I'm not completely alone, but still comfort to get in contact with them when they're all having active lives while I'm not. I could have done something great. You know, I could have gone and been like a wrestler or something. Because I remember nearing the end of high school, I wanted to start wrestling, like performance wrestling, WWE, AEW, stuff like that. But instead, I just fumbled it all by trying it once and then quitting. To be fair, I think it was like a morals thing because I'm gonna be so honest when I say this. I went to Booker T's Reality of Wrestling, and it was good. It was really nice. All the people there were really supportive and nice to me, and I was like the youngest person there. I was like 17 at the time. Fun fact. And I went there. I was like, okay, I'm a huge wrestling fan. I can't wait to try this out and see if I could get behind doing it for a long period of time. But then once everyone there, like all the coaches and stuff, all the older coaches mostly, not the younger ones, they really weren't like treating us all too well. Especially Booker T himself. He was there. I was surprised to see him there, but he was really nice anyway. And they just really weren't nice to us, you know? And I get it was like to wean out the weak who weren't you know, who weren't able to do it. And it clearly worked because I guess I was weak enough to be weaned out. But yeah, no, it really hurt to see how they acted and know that my morals would have to be compromised just to be a wrestler. And I knew I couldn't do that. I feel like that was a strong show of my morals, which, like, it's a double edged sword. Stabs my enemy and stabs me. Like, stabs me because I don't know what I'm going to do with my life anymore. And now I feel like a loser who has nothing going for him. But I know that my morals are strong enough where I'm not going to change for that, which is 50-50, good and bad. It's not gonna stop me from liking wrestling. It just changes my opinion on certain people. Like Booker T, I don't like him as much anymore. To be fair, I wasn't like a Booker T diehard fan before, but now I'm not probably not gonna be. I can separate the art from the artist. Like Booker T's segment with Stone Cold in the grocery store, that's still one of the best wrestling segments in history. I feel like I'd say, but I don't know, just like a personal thing, I guess. That's enough with the somber, sad sap story. Whatever. You guys don't care about that. Let's talk about the rosters. Since I said there was roster changes before I went off track. Besides switching out, you know, besides switching out Kane and Batman Beyond, I'm still gonna have to find new characters to fill out the main roster. I'm still missing some slots, obviously. Still missing some bits and bobs. But I added a costume page, you know? We can start filling out costumes and have. I already filled out a few lines. I don't know what I'm gonna do for the Beetleborg, honestly. That's kind of an issue. But I'm doing my best. Like I felt the Super Scroll line. That was tough. Like we got main comic Super Scroll, Earth Mighty's Heroes design, X Men Super Scroll, Sinister Six Super Scroll. Well, more Spider-Man villains in general. If you look at it closely, more Spider-Man villains in general. Super Scroll. But I think that's pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool. See, the Venom, the Goblin, the Lizard, all that, the Electro. That's cool. And Lego Super Scroll. I main Lego Super Scroll and Lego Superheroes. I played them all. I really like the game. But yeah, since I will be like taking a break from Multiverse Bash, I'll come back with plenty more costumes in the slots. Like Leon has plenty of options for costumes. Sweet Tooth has pretty good options. Rick Grimes has good ones too. The Beetleborg's definitely one of my toughest gigs, but I'll figure it out. And don't worry about me excluding characters. The Giants also have costumes. Like there's gonna be plenty of forms of Godzilla. Don't worry. Plenty of forms of Kong are coming up too, and plenty of Megazords. Don't worry about that. Plenty of Megazords. I think for the Mighty Morphin Megazord, it's just gonna be all the ones from Mighty Morphin. You know, like the original, Thunder Megazord, the Shogun Megazord, Super Ninja Megazord, and I'll figure out a fifth one. Maybe one where one of the like the Tiger Zord or the Dragon Zord is built into it, because there's a few of those too. The Six Ranger Zord is embedded with the other Rangers. I think this one's cool. And of course, for like Giant Man, gonna have uh Zombie Giant Man, Goliath, Black Goliath in case you want to play with Bill Foster. It'd be like what is it? An Injustice 2 thing, because Injustice 2 had those costumes where it just made them a different character visually, but the powers were close enough to where it made sense. Like when they had John Stewart over Green Lantern or Jay Garrick on Flash. Like I thought that was a really fun design choice they did for that game. And I think it brought a whole new feeling to the characters when they started, like, they have different voice actors, different face expressions. I thought that was really cool. Yeah. I'm trying to think of what else to talk about. I think if I figure out how to put games, I mean, the computer is really crappy right now. I'm gonna be honest. It's not really good at running video games. I have Steam and stuff. Like it's not good at running. And what else can I tell you about? Oh yeah, I can tell you the story of MF France. You know, it was originally an idea for me and my two other friends to create a gaming channel called White Boy Green Screen Gaming, and it's like it's what we're gonna do in the future, which is gonna be really fun. I feel like, you know, and hopefully, if we all have the time, we can actually get into it and start making stuff. But you know, one of them's in a different time zone, one of them just is kind of hard to reach. So I don't know, but all I know is that I'm gonna start like testing the waters for collaborative endeavors with me, and in a couple episodes, like by like episode 10 or 11, I'll have someone else talking and not just me, because I know you can also tell I'm getting bored of just talking alone and talking about Multiverse Bash. But this a funny story about the beginning of my channel. You'll see in my first episode of like my welcome, essentially, you'll see the StreamYard logo in the top corner, and that's because I did something a little stupid where my my buddy said, "Hey, use OBS Studio," which I'm using now because I found it. He's like, "Hey, use OBS Studio." I was like, "Okay." Just searched up, just Googled it, didn't really look into many links. And then I found StreamYard. It said like StreamYard 2 OBS Studio. I was like, "Oh, this must be it." It wasn't. StreamYard it's a good start. It's good. It was like good for my first video. Obviously, it did what I needed to do. It shared my screen while I talked. But it also like it didn't really. It had the watermark, so I wasn't gonna use that. So then I used my Steam account to download OBS Studio because that's the only thing I thought I could do that was good at the time. Just download it, might as well. But so I got that running, and now I use OBS Studio instead of StreamYard. It took a whole episode to get that done, but that's probably because after I posted my first video, I didn't do anything for a few days. But nowadays I post every day, and it'll continue to be that way because I got nothing else going on except depression. I don't know how many therapist. Maybe Saturday? I don't remember if it's the Saturday next one. I'm like every other Saturday. I don't really remember when our sessions are very well. Yeah, no. I don't know what to really say, but if you want me to start streaming or you want me to any other ideas what I can do besides Multiverse Bash, I'm open to ideas, open suggestions in the comments. Little engagement bait, and yeah, that's about it. So to quote Charlie Moist Critical,